Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV, Terminal City Roller Derby.
Toronto Bonspiel do it on the ice.
Calgary Court's Investiture 2, and much, much more.
Hello, and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is T. We'd like to thank the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations for the honor and privilege to film this episode of Outlook TV on their traditional unceded lands.
Outlook TV is a queer magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast. And kicking it off, Angus takes us to the launch party of Reflections.
It's a docuseries on the Gay Games Guadalajara.
We're at the Junction nightclub in Vancouver for the broadcast launch of Reflections, Gay Games Guadalajara 2023, which is going to be premiering on Out TV and all their streaming devices. Let's go find out more.
So I gathered 39 volunteers together, and we trained everybody up. We had producers and writers.
Well, we're going to have a few speeches, talk about a little bit about the process of what happened when we went to Guadalajara and how we got it together.
Literally goes back to 1990 when the Gay Games were here in Vancouver, and that's when I first met Mike. I started to get involved in producing a program for that called Celebration Nightcap, and that you can find on YouTube. When the games came to Guadalajara, because it was near enough, we thought that Mike actually came and kind of twisted my arm and said, why don't we put together a crew again and produce another broadcast-worthy production for the Gay Games Guadalajara. So as it developed, we began to realize we could do first an opening ceremonies, and then we did two magazine shows, two half-hour magazine shows.
When you see it, the opening ceremonies are actually in the aquatic center, which is kind of cool because most opening ceremonies are done in stadiums. And this is the first time I've ever actually seen an open ceremonies in an aquatic center, so it was quite fascinating. So they had synchronized swimming in there. They had the torch was, of course, they had a cauldron with a torch, and they had all sorts of, they had choirs, of course, and that kind of thing, as most of the games have. So.
I think that you'll see in the documentary that Guadalajara really stood up and brought this thing home in a very difficult situation. Again, in a year and a half for them to put together what normally takes 5 years, they did an amazing and fantastic job of it.
Besides the incredible job that was done by the host committee, the number of people that I met from around the world that were attending, not the first, not the second, but some of them their 10th and 11th Gay Games. So they were people that had a lot of stories to be able to tell, and then people that were there for the very first time. As I was, it was a fantastic way to be able to engage with all levels of sport and culture and the local community.
And we have a front row seat for you. So let's take a look as all eyes are now focused on Guadalajara, Mexico.
This was done with volunteers, with us paying for our own travel and accommodations, and we had a lot of, like I say, an amazing group of a crew of 10 people that all chipped in to make this work. I'd really like to thank the sponsors who stepped up for this. I mean, the Junction here and Pump Jack were great. It made a big difference in our ability to promote, and that's where really most of the sponsorship money went into.
It doesn't impact my ability to swim as much. I just can't feel my foot.
It's broadcast, and that's in a particular time, and that's what we're looking at tonight is the first time it's being broadcast. But from now on, it will be available in streaming. And so we figure most of the time that people will see this will be because they'll have streamed it at their own convenience and from whatever service they may be able to get it from in those countries that are all represented.
Are there any plans for Team Vancouver to be in Valencia?
We've talked about it. We'll see if we can get enough funding together. We'd like to go and cover the games in Valencia and do similar to what we did with Guadalajara. It'd be really kind of fun. Same with Guadalajara, it was kind of fun. I know it was work for people, but it was also fun for us.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt in Vancouver.
We may be a coast-to-coast show, but here is a story on a coast-to-coast tour.
Day of Pink tour stops in Edmonton with Tam.
I had the absolute honor of interviewing the creator of the trans flag, Monica Helms, at this year's Day of Pink at its tour stop in Edmonton. And so could you go over just why the flag looks how it does?
The blue is a traditional color for baby boys, and pink is traditional color for baby girls. And the white in the center is like a non-binary stripe or somebody that just doesn't feel like they belong in either one of the binary situations. In 2013, I started seeing the flag in other countries and the colors used everywhere, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I got the original, and I want to, protect it. So I said, where can I go? And I take it to the top, which would be the Smithsonian, and sure enough, they were starting to collect LGBTQ items, and they wanted my flag.
What can allies who maybe aren't trans themselves do to help trans people?
Well, first of all, they need to be aware of our genders and ask what the genders are, and they need to understand what's going on, and if there's a situation where they could help protest or help call legislators, that's something that they can do as well. So they can do everything we can do, but they're not trans, but that doesn't matter. The more people that fight for us, the better it is.
Did you think that people were going to personalize the flag?
I didn't know that they would. Once I started seeing it popular, then I started seeing customized flag, and I was okay with that.
Some advice that you would give to Albertans and Canadians to keep fighting the good fight?
Is to keep fighting. Don't let them have a moment of rest without them knowing that you're out there and you're against their legislation. So you have to keep it up. Persistence will help, and that's what you need to have.
Mama told me when I was young, we're all superstars.
That was my interview with Monica Helms, the creator of the trans flag, at this year's Day of Pink visibility tour stop in Edmonton. And don't forget, on April 10th, wear pink.
Well, it's about that time in the show when we take a little break.
We'd like to acknowledge that March 31st, 2024 is the International Transgender Day of Visibility.
Hello and welcome back. We have me, who kicks some butt with some really gritty women over in Coquitlam. Check it out, the Terminal City Roller Derby. Hello viewers, today Outlook TV is here at the Terminal City Roller Club Derby. So strap on some wheels and lather yourself in elbow grease because Outlook TV is getting spanked Terminal City style.
Terminal City Roller Derby has actually been around for quite some time. When roller derby first got its resurgence back in the early 2000s, we have been kind of reviving it post-pandemic. So we actually just kind of started playing again in September of last year.
But it started out with a Craigslist post, actually. So our first president, Mickey Mercury, posted on Craigslist saying, I've just watched the show A&E Roller Girls, and I want to put together a roller derby league here in Vancouver. And so any of us that replied to that Craigslist post showed up at the Lamplighter, had some nachos, and the rest is history.
There's three roles. There's blocker, jammer, and pivot. The blockers are simultaneously playing offense and defense, and their main goal is to stop the other team's jammer while they also help their jammer to get out. The pivot is like a special blocker, so they're playing as a blocker until they're not.
The jammer is the person that scores the points, and they get 1 point for every blocker on the other team that they pass. So if they pass all 4 blockers, they get all 4 points. They also have the ability to take off the helmet cover and pass it to their pivot, at which point the pivot becomes the jammer.
I find that roller derby is like a really interesting outlier because of its expansive gender policy. When we see so many arguments starting up, especially in the States, but also here in Canada, about trans inclusion in sport, and particularly in women-focused sports, there's a lot of concerns which roller derby has already completely blown away. We've been operating like this for over a decade without the concerns that many of the folks who are against trans inclusion are making.
There's not a whole lot of sports out there, especially women's sports, that are inclusive of transgender people and non-binary people. There's 2 different versions of roller derby leagues. There's open gender and there's WIFTA gender. We're a WIFTA gender team, which it stands for Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association, but it's very inclusive in that sense. So it's not cis women. It's cis women, trans women, non-binary, and the wording on their website is something like, if you feel like WIFTA is the version of roller derby that most closely aligns with you, you are welcome in this space. And then open gender is just anyone.
Oh my goodness, I met my partner playing roller derby actually. So me and my partner Deb met playing for the Bad Reputations, one of the house teams that used to exist for Terminal City Roller Girls.
If you go to tcrd.ca, that's our website, we actually have a rookie program starting really soon. It's starting on April 28th. You don't need any experience at all to join. You don't need to know how to skate. We teach you absolutely everything from the very beginning.
Come and try it. Absolutely. We got room for everybody. If you don't want to hit people, we'll get you out there reffing.
Wowza! Well, I am intrigued, terrified, and slightly turned on. I'm Emily Ann Fraser. This is Outlook TV in Coquitlam. Grab your hockey sticks and pitchforks because we're joining Patrick for the Battle of Alberta.
Queers on Ice in Edmonton Mall. Love it.
Hey there, it's Patrick Massey from Outlook TV. We're at West Edmonton Mall this evening for the Battle of Alberta. It's put on by the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey Association. It's going to be the Edmonton Rage taking on the Calgary Pioneers. Let's go check out the hockey game.
When we were first founded in 2019, Calgary was already on their way with the CIHA and doing their inclusive thing. So once we founded our group, as you know, Calgary and Edmonton, they're very close together, so it just kind of came to be. We wanted to play together, and the Battle of Alberta is popular in the NHL, and we're like, why don't we do our own?
About 4 years ago now, right after I came out, I was asked to play part of the team. I wasn't part of the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association yet, and they needed an extra player. And I came out and checked out the Battle of Alberta, hosted by the Rage for the first time. And it was something I'd never seen before in hockey, where we got to play on a kind of a cool big stage, a well-known rink, in front of a lot of people, and to spread the message that hockey is for everyone.
I grew up playing hockey. I started playing when I was 4, and I played till I was 15, and I quit. And I started again a couple years ago when I moved to Edmonton, and I played women's league for a year, but it wasn't quite right for me, and then I saw that the Rage was an option, and that's how I began playing.
Is there anything with the current climate and the Premier just announcing this anti-trans? Is there anything you would like to say?
We don't go anywhere when you make laws against us. As a Métis Two-Spirit person, we've been here way longer than Alberta has ever been a province, and we're going to continue to be here long after Alberta's a province. I would say, if you want to try it out, come play. We have everything from beginner to people who have never skated before to people like me who have played their whole lives. A range of skill, range of everything. Just come out and try it, and you'll probably make some friends at the very least.
I took over for the Rage this year. I've been on the team for 3 years now. and I absolutely love it. It's a wonderful community. They're wonderful people.
Wow, what an inclusive night there was at West Edmonton Mall on the rink, put on by the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey Association. This is Patrick Massey for Outlook TV in Edmonton, Alberta.
We're going to have to take a little break now. Hey T, do you want to come to my house and play roller derby?
With the way you're looking at me like that, I don't have the right parts to do that. Just boundaries, walls.
Welcome back.
We're headed to Calgary to catch up with Calgary Court and their investitures too. They elevated new people to their court, as well as giving us an update on their upcoming coronation.
We're at the Texas Lounge in Calgary, Alberta, with the Imperial Court of Calgary and their event Investitures 2. We're finding out who they're elevating tonight, as well as getting an update on their upcoming coronation weekend.
We have 4 people now elevating. If you're a duke and the princette or prince steps down, then you elevate to prince. So Carl Shining Tron, who has been my duke and was a duke last year, is elevating to prince and is very excited to do so. And then Char Alicious, the first Alicious, who has been an amazing volunteer for many years, is elevating to duke. And then Megan, who was our duchess, Megan Money Moves, is stepping up into princess. And Plume Velour, who you just won't believe the talent and the community work they've already done at the age of 19, is stepping up to be our Duchess. And then one of our heroes of our Imperial Sovereign Court of the Chinook Arch, Mr. Dion Boink, is also celebrating his birthday. So we're raising some money with pieing him in the face and doing other fun things.
So as a past monarch, it is our duty to bestow the new titles with the current reigning. My part in the ceremony is I'll be bringing in the royal robes and placing them on the newly crowned title holders. I came out as trans about 2 years ago, so I'm also supportive of trans youth and working spreading awareness for trans rights.
We have a lot of our older college members out today to enjoy the festivities and to perform, so that'll be great to see. Also, the upper house obviously performing, and some out-of-town guests as well.
This year I'm also the head of the college, which I'm kind of responsible for any events such as today as the elevations or crownings, for Coronation 48, I'll be leading the crowning should we have any candidates. And today we are having our elevation where we're going to be crowning a new Imperial Grand Duke and Duchess, as well as a new Imperial Crown Prince and Princess.
So our coronation is the weekend of April 18th to the 21st. In-town show on the 18th. Out-of-town show on the 19th, and the ball on the 20th, and victory brunch and our celebration Shooter Wars at the back lot on the 21st. So we welcome everybody. Come to Calgary. If you haven't been to Calgary, come check out some of the great gay culture that is here and meet some lovely people that do amazing community work.
Their Most Imperial Sovereign Highness, ICP Royale 47, Carl Shining Tron, and ICP Royale 47, Megan Money Moves of Calgary.
From Calgary, Alberta, my name is T for Outlook TV.
Coming up next, Andre takes us to Toronto for the Bonspiel Do It on the Ice.
Queers on Ice? Love it.
Hello everyone, salut tout le monde. The annual event, Do It on the Ice, sounds very intriguing. Follow me to the ring to find out some more about it.
A Bonspiel is basically a giant curling tournament. It comes from a Dutch word actually, even though curling's Scottish, but really a Bonspiel is just a curling tournament. Sometimes it's between different clubs, but in general it's just a big curling tournament. It's not the first Riverdale Bonspiel that we've had. We're actually celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, and we've been having Bonspiels every single year since then, welcoming gay curlers from across North America.
This year is exciting because there are more out-of-town teams with more women on them. So it's really nice to have some women on the ice with us. Our league is pretty homogenous. Most of our curlers are men, so it's really nice for us to curl with some women and trans folks from out of town.
The gay Bonspiels are incredibly fun because there's a camaraderie that exists. There's the fun on the ice, but there's also the fun in the lounge afterwards.
Today we have 48 teams playing in our Bonspiel. Our theme yesterday was the night of 1000 Richard Simmons. Today, Saturday, is the ladies of the 80s, and then tomorrow is finals.
I'm having a great time at this Bonspiel. Everybody is super nice, very welcoming, and I got to meet a women's team that's starting a league for women and trans folks, which is really cool.
Our out-of-town teams pay their own way. We do welcome them in. There's no extra registration fee, but really a lot of our out-of-town teams intentionally take vacation time.
So to have a chance to come up here and take part in a community that loves curling as much as I do and find a sense of community is wonderful. One of the things that I first came up here for was mostly the community. Being in the United States, we don't have a lot of LGBTQ plus curling events specifically.
And I am here at the Royal Canadian Curling Club doing Dirty Bingo for the Gay Curling League. It's just a wonderful time. It's a fabulous hour that we play bingo, hand out some sex toys, get a little dirty. It's a very, very fun, good time, and it gives them something to do when they're not on the ice.
It's very exciting. The energy is incredible. And what is so much fun is to hear the people that aren't on the ice at this point laughing.
It can be very competitive, but it's mostly just a lot of fun. And you get to meet new people, see old friends and faces. The best part of being in the Bonspiel is the social aspect. A lot of cocktails.
A lot coming here. There's a lot of people, exciting activities, and also the people that organize this event is really, really fun.
Our club currently has the reigning Canadian Pride curling champions here. We're sending 3 teams off to national championships this year, and we're really excited for the teams that we're sending off, and we're really hopeful that they're going to bring that beautiful trophy back to us.
Congratulations to all the winners and the participants to this Bonspiel. Andre Tardif in Toronto for Outlook TV.
Well, that's all the time we have for this show, but we will be back.
In the meantime, why don't you grab your fellow queers on ice and check us out on all our social media platforms, or better yet, volunteer with us.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is T.
Stay fabulous, Canada.